Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for a crypto highlight video. And remember, if you're interested in any of the services I provide, whether that's the day trading, swing trading, or tutoring service, make sure to check out the links below for both the Patreon and Discord. And FYI, in case you didn't know, we are currently in the free trial for the swing trade service in the Discord for the rest of November. So make sure you're in the Discord. If you are in the Discord and you haven't taken the swing trades, what are you doing? Because we've been having an absolute killer November for both stocks and crypto. Now, link was suggested for me to do by a member to cover it for them. Full transparency in the swing trade service. I'm currently long link, so in the short term, I clearly have a bias to the upside, but I'll give you the best technical analysis I can, going from the monthly, weekly, and then of course the daily, and give you what I see going up, the probabilities of what's going to happen, whether it's to the upside or downside. Okay. So looking at the monthly chart with Link, just like most cryptos, there's not that much information, right? There's just not that much information, and it's okay. It's kind of what we have to deal with because these are very young assets. But because of that, I really don't want to there's not really much information here. The only information we have here is clearly the uptrend has been broken, which is normal because all these cryptos uptrends have been broken. We had this low wick down here, which is the low pivot from the all-time high drop. That got taken out, and then even this consolidation down here, the lows down here, these got taken out, and now we're consolidating for quite a long time over here. Now, I do want to make something very clear. I want to make sure everyone understands this. I always say this to new traders especially, but pretty much everyone's a good reminder because it's a simple question that really gets to the core of looking at charts. It's doing one of three things, and you have to ask yourself what is it doing and what's going to happen in this sort of market. What's likely to happen? So first, ask yourself what is happening on the charts. Are we going up? Are we going down? Or are we going sideways? So it's one of these three things you're seeing right here. That's simple, right? So clearly Link for a good time was going up, and now clearly Link was going down for some months, and now for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're on the 6th month of going sideways, clearly. So what we can do on the monthly is let's use these wicks to draw these horizontal rays. So I'm going to use this ray here, and let's change the color to red. That way we know this is from the monthly, and then we'll do the low right here since the range really started right there. Okay. So this is where we've been trading sideways clearly, right? So now let's go down to the weekly and see what it looks like. So weekly, we were coming down clearly, and since then we've been going sideways, and we're going sideways nearing the top of this consolidation, which actually is the 2019 high, and then we had the 2020 drop lockdowns, and then we had the push all the way going towards $50+ during 2021. So very interesting structure here. So what's cool about Link compared to a lot of these other altcoins and even Bitcoin, it is not trending down right now. It's just in a range. Even during the whole FTX scandal, you had this candle here, this down candle, but currently still has not taken out the lows of the range. Very, very interesting. Now, is there any other trend line I can see that's going to be somewhat viable right now? Nothing from the weekly right now, but I will say let me draw this trend line out here for the future. So if Link should break out, this could be tomorrow, but this could be very far into the future. Watch out for this trend line right here to play a massive role. Okay. So this trend line right here, so you have the lows prior to the run to the all-time high, and then the low wick, the low swing from the drop of the all-time high. Pull that trend line out to the future, and what you'll see is this is going to act as a major level of resistance. I would look to short this out into the future if Link should ever get back to those levels, which of course, the probabilities would say it probably will as long as Link stays a healthy project. But overall, this is the only interesting trend line I can see on the weekly chart right now. Now let's go down to the daily and see what's happening. And for the weekly, let's change the trend line color to black. That way it's a little bit more clear. And then the blue lines that we'll have will be for the daily. So looking at the daily, so clearly trading sideways within these monthly levels. And the daily is very, very interesting. What I do like about the daily that catches my eye, I actually want to go back. Let's go back to the weekly real quick. Wow, look at this. So look at the weekly here. So this level right here, so where we started this trend line to the upside, right? Look at this. Let's pop a horizontal right here. I want you to see this. This is very, very interesting. Actually, it could be both. Let's do both. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll make this color black. And then we're gonna do this low wick down here, which is the low of this bullish retracement that then led to the breakout to the upside for the all-time high move. So we're gonna put these two trend lines there to the so these are weekly horizontal rays. Now let's go down to the daily and see how this looks. Wow, look at that. Okay, so this may seem a little confusing, but it shouldn't. So we have the upper ranges of this overall range, which are the monthly levels, these red trend lines, and then we have the median levels, which is the weekly level. Look at the price action here. Not only are we going sideways, what is it doing? It's just oscillating all the way through, the whole way, just oscillating. All right, so the general range is being held quite efficiently. These lows down here weren't even tested. Even this low wick right here, the very low, hasn't been reached even after the FTX drop here. But we've also not had what I would say is, any signs of a break of character either, right? You could argue right here potentially was the beginning of a break of character because we broke from that, right? We made a new high from this level here, and then we broke back down. But take a look left, and that doesn't really work, because over here we've just gone through these levels, failed at this high pivot, and then failed back down, and we've just been oscillating through the weekly levels and respecting the general zones of the monthly low and high levels. Very interesting. But that also gives us a bit of an answer too. So let's put a couple trend lines from the daily level. Take a look at this. This is kind of giving us an answer of where we could see Link going back to. We just have to keep looking left. So here's one of the common lows for the daily, and then let's do this level right here, this low pivot right here. Okay, so now you have these two matching low pivots. All right, and now let's go to the highs on the daily that that I would say are common. There aren't that many. We do have, okay, so we do have right here and here. So we'll actually do this one right here. So it's catching these wicks here. So what's interesting to the upside, the monthly zone is mostly respected. Yeah. All right. So taking a look at this, what does Link tend to do when it comes down towards the bottom of this range? It comes right back towards the weekly levels and it oscillates within it. So whether that's tapping this high side of this consolidation here, which is around this daily level, or it's just going to come right on through, kind of trade up over time, and then fail at those pivots again. Either way, we kind of have our answer, right? We see that we're holding the bottom of this range so far, so the probabilities are pretty high that we at least come back towards $8, because this level hasn't really stopped us ever, except for here, and here it failed to stop because we went higher. Here it did for a little bit, but then held these lows and went higher. And again, here and here it failed, but held the lows and went higher. So there's not really any place where $7.30 actually held off Link for a long period of time. So it's a very good shot. We're going to see Link get towards $8 and $8 plus, because usually, as we can see, it's wicking a little bit higher, going to $8.30, maybe even sometimes even trading through higher and then failing. So we really want to respect the range, right? We want to respect the range and continue to really believe that this range is going to hold until it doesn't. And the bias of the range has to be fairly bearish, right? You have to have a bearish bias because you have to respect that Bitcoin is the majority market cap. So whenever it has a trending move in one direction or the other, Link will eventually follow that lead. But right now, there are no signs that this range is breaking anytime soon. And if we should break out, let's say, right? So if we do break out to the upside, what are we looking at? Well, we have some levels to keep our eye on, right? And look at this here. This fair value gap is one of the major levels you want to look at because it's been really repelling the price every time it comes up towards it. So you have the upside of the monthly range here, But then every time price has gone to this fair value gap, it's wicked off of it and failed. Then another level you want to watch out for is actually this level right up here. So this fair value gap is extremely, extremely interesting and very, very, this is something that you would want to target. So if you had a break of this range, so if you bought the lows of this range, and then we're looking to try and test the high of this range again, we have to be very careful here. If we look to test the high of this range, then this is the level you want to look for to get taken out, because you want to watch for the liquidity that's pulled above this level here to get grabbed. And this fair value gap getting filled would pretty much do that. Now, if we bought the low of the range, what I would say is it's probably best to just target either the median of the range, which is these weekly pivot levels here, or towards as close towards the top of that level that you can. Because watch very closely as you get towards the top. What do you see? You're seeing a lot of activity, a lot of price action moving you up, and very quickly you have bearish price action moving you down. So the bulls are working much harder in this range compared to the bears. Right? Look how hard it was to move up here, and look how quickly it just waterfalled down. Look how hard they moved up here. Look how quickly it just waterfalled down. This was 3 candles, right? Same thing during the FTX debacle. Moved up. It took a lot of work to move up, and within 2 candles came right on down. So that's another hint that you're looking at a range, but it has a bearish bias because of that. Okay, so keep that in mind. You want to make sure to be able to read the candles, that if whoever side is working harder to move price in a direction is the side that's losing. All right. So though this range hasn't broken, you have to have a bit of a bearish bias until proven otherwise. So it's safe to buy the lows, but watch out for the lows to break. And if the lows do break, just like we were looking at, about $12, if this range should break to the upside, look for anywhere from $5 all the way down to $2 to $3 and potentially even $1, but really $2 to $3 because you're catching this consolidation over here. Okay, so right now when it comes to Link, I'm actually more bullish than bearish in the short term, but you got to keep everything in context, keep the macro in context as well, and look at how much work it has to do. So let's actually draw this trend line here. So from the all-time high, which is right here, to this low wick right here. Look at this. Oh wow, actually, you know what? Look at how close this is to actually breaking out. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Look at this. Look at this confluence. Wow. So actually watch this very closely. Watch Link very closely, because what we're going to have is one of 2 things, in my opinion. One of 2 things. Or I should say one of 3 things. And again, it's all probabilities, no guarantees. This is why I love trend lines, because I'll see things that I didn't even see before. Take a look at this. All right, let's look at this. Let's mess around a little bit. This high pivot here to this high pivot here. So it's prior towards the drop that led to the range. Okay, so this actually makes it a little bit clearer. All right, so what we can see is one of 3 things. Obviously, we can see it break out, try and grab this daily trend line to the upside, and potentially attempt to break the range and go a bit higher. Or we fail off of this, kind of like we failed off here, and break the lows of the range and go down towards the $3, $2, potentially even $1. Or we continue to trade sideways. And normally that's very unlikely, but looking at this, so these high pivots, and these high pivots are pretty important because these high pivots were the failure of a bullish structure. And I believe I actually have this painted on my chart during the crypto market recap. So make sure you watch those recaps if you're in Link, or you're interested in my position in Link. Take a look at this. So this was a bullish structure that failed for Link. So when you have a descending channel structure that was forming, you do have to have a bullish bias on it. And there were signs that after this retracement, we would see a nice breakup back towards this rising trend line here, but we didn't get that. Okay, so we broke bearish. So now what are we seeing? Oh wow, look at this confluence. We're seeing that this level was broken. So I would more focus on less this daily descending trend line and more this bull structure. So if this bull structure can get retaken, then we're going to be showing signs that we're going to break this range to the upside and potentially, challenge the highs of this bull structure that was lost. Take a look at this confluence here. So this whole level here, the median of this range, is now much more important than I believed. I'm gonna keep all these lines here. The one I'm gonna get rid of is this one here, this daily top one here, and we're gonna keep this descending trend line from the all-time high to then the second highest pivot prior to the current the continued drop, then this descending channel that broke bearish, and then the weekly horizontal levels here, and then the daily and monthly horizontal levels here. I'm going to keep this all in the chart, and we're going to come back to this. Take a look at this. This level here, the confluence. I go over this heavily in my tutoring services. You always want to look for confluence between trend lines and horizontal levels. You want to see it. It's very, very, very nice to see. This is going to be a major level. We can actually potentially, what this tells me is we're likely going to see a failure here. So if price were to get back towards this level, right? So we're coming up now. If price comes up towards $7 and change around this zone, there's a good chance we actually fail off of it. Okay, and if we fail off of it from there, then Link is likely going to break to the downside. So we need to see very quickly, pretty much within this month to early December, Link showing a bullish bias and taking this daily descending trend line and also this descending trend line, this much more shallow trend line, bullish, if we want to see the top of the range get taken out and then going towards this fair value gap, this liquidity level here. So watch for, first level to watch for is 7 and change that you're seeing here, this whole zone here. Then watch if that's taken out. Watch for these weekly levels to get traded through, because we have the evidence that that tends to happen. And then if we trade through them, watch for this fair value gap over here that's priced at $9.40, we'll say, to the top side, which is about $9.90, $9.80. Watch for this fair value gap to get taken. And then finally, if that happens, watch for a major move going towards $10 plus, so like $12 and change. That's going to try and take out this fair value gap and challenge the high side of this descending channel. Okay, so we're gonna keep this all in the chart. Let's change the color of the steep trend line, which is the all-time high, to this high pivot over here. Let's change that trend line color to green, and then we'll keep the rest blue. All right, so this is very interesting, and we have to, again, you have to also respect that if this trend line, this green trend line, is taken out, that does give you some implication that you may have the beginning of a change of character. Again, it's very early. You have to wait for more of a structure, but it gives you that all right, time to look at the charts. Okay, time to look at the charts, because it's very unlikely you stay going sideways after that. All right, that's it for Link. This is very interesting. I mean, I'm in the position with Link, but I have I'm looking for around the as high towards $8 and a little bit higher as I can. So looking at all this confluence makes me think that this is a very important time to be looking at Link. This is very, very interesting. So I'm happy you recommend me to look at this. I'm actually seeing more new things than I thought I knew. So this is very, very interesting. Keep your eye on Link, especially if this breaks to the upside. You can see something really, really special, something akin to maybe what happened in 2020, where it was just running by itself. You remember that, guys, when Link was just running by itself? So watch out for Link. But if this does break down, we do have to keep that in mind. If this breaks down, you're looking at the threes to the twos and potentially even the high ones. So keep that in mind. But I do have in the short term a bullish bias coming up towards this level here, towards $7 and change, and potentially higher. All right, everyone, that's it for the Link highlight. Make sure if you have any more assets you want me to look at, stocks, crypto, or commodities, pop them in the Discord. There's the crypto highlight and stock highlight room, so just pop it in there. And again, if you're a free member, this is your time to do it, because this will become a premium service where I'll make the videos public, but you won't be able to request me to look at something specifically unless you're a premium member. But you can right now, because it's during the free month of November. Okay. All right, everyone. Remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. I love you guys. Take care.